Hello and welcome to the Lund University International Podcast. On the show, you'll hear from current students, alumni, teachers, and many more special guests as we explore what it's really like to live and study in Lund. My name is Bénédicte, and I am a student worker at External Relations. I am also a recent graduate in the Master's Program of Development Studies, and I'm from Mauritius. Today's episode is Study Tips for International Students, and with us in the studio we have two guests. Quyen, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Quyen. I'm from Vietnam, but I've been living in Sweden for about 7 years, and I'm currently a second year of Bachelor in Development Studies.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And Farjana?
Hi, I'm Farjana, and I'm a master's student in Lund University, and I'm studying in media and communication right now, writing my thesis, so almost done.
Yes, I know this feeling. You're almost there. So.
Yeah, almost there.
Exactly. So, and it's nice today we have someone from studying the bachelor's and someone studying the master's program. I would say they equally have their, let's say, the strengths and their difficulties. So today we hope to give some tips on how to navigate the long list of readings that all of us need to do, no matter what level you're studying at, right? So first, it's been quite warm. It's been a nice summer. So I think the hardest part is to get back on track. And maybe Quyen, I hope you had a nice summer.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
now that the semester is starting, do you have a specific study strategies that you wanted to improve on compared to your first year, and now you want to continue with something that you found was useful for you?
So a little bit about the context of what my degree looked like. So the first year is we have 4 majors, and we kind of mix all the lectures together. And I think at first I didn't really have any strategy in mind. I just kind of walked in there and see the long list of literature, just 4,000 pages. They just throw at us. It was really a surprise. And I guess, we try to read, but then at the same time, I couldn't keep up with them all. Mm-hmm. So that was my first year. I guess I was drowning a little bit, a bit on the overwhelmed side as well, because it was really different from high school. I guess in high school, it's you study multiple subjects, right, but then each of them are 1 book, 2 books, exercise.
And were you doing your high school in Sweden?
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
So
I did my high school both in Vietnam and Sweden. So we can touch upon the differences maybe later. But for the literature, so that is what it feels like. For second year, we get to choose a major, and my major is sociology, meaning that, it's also a little bit more reading, I guess. I saw the literature list. It was terrified, honestly. And I learned from my first year that I was going to divide and conquer. That's probably just plain and simple. Yeah. Divide and conquer. Within the week, divide into a few articles a day. Tend to be about 20 or 25 pages. Of course, you skim through. You don't really read that much. Yeah. And then take breaks during weekends.
You said everything, I think. This thing of skimming through. You actually can't read every single word, because when in 1 week you need to read, let's say, 10 books. I'm exaggerating, but it can happen. Can you read the actual 10 books? You need to know the content of it to be able to use that as ideas to discuss in seminars or in class. But definitely not every single work, I think. Or what do you think?
I would just add here a bit. What you can do is, whatever you read, make sure to highlight with a pencil or your favorite color of highlighters, whatever keeps you positive. And you can also do some very short notes, 1 sentence. Just what did you understand from that single page? Because if you don't highlight and take notes while reading, after you have read, for example, 10 books, as you said, you will forget what you have read so far. You don't want to do that. So you need to remember. And how do you remember? Highlight and take notes.
Mm-hmm. It's they say it's the active way of learning, because you're not just reading a book, right? You're trying to
understand information that's being written, that's being theorized, and how you as a student, you place yourself in this big kind of ocean of knowledge, if you can say. And so this would be very, let's say, talking about strict reading, academic work, but we still have a life outside school and outside studies. So let's say, Queen, how do you balance this academic life as a student and this personal, more fun life as a student as well?
So every week is different for me. So there will be week I have class every day, and there will be weeks that I don't have class at all, but that's because that's the week that we prepped for examination. But then there will be weeks that, normal seminar, which is like 1 day, 2 hours, and the lecture will tend to be like 2, 3, something like that. But so compared to, let's say, LTH, which the schedule is pretty light, I feel like. So it's only 1 lecture per day, 2 hours, 3 hours, something like that. So we definitely have time for some light reading in the afternoon, some fun cooking in the evening, and some movie nights. I definitely have time for barbecue with friends, absolutely. So that is strictly speaking of the schedule that I have at the moment.
Right. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
And that's good that you mentioned LTH or engineering or science, let's say, because all of us were doing social sciences, or we've been involved in social sciences. And we tend to think, we have more readings and less, let's say, mathematical calculations. And that's true. But the other side of a medal is that when everyone will be free to, let's say, meet up in the weekends, we'll be busy with assignments.
Oh, yes.
And the good side of it is, like, when we finish our assignments, we might not have as many exams. So I would say that different programs have a different ways of structuring information and knowledge dissemination. But at the end, I think it would be quite balanced, whether it's natural sciences, physics, biology, or social sciences like media, development studies, sociology. But so it's different ways of learning, but somehow towards the same goal. But what about you, Farjana?
I would add here that as I'm a media student, there was a paper I wrote for one of my courses. It was digital media research, where we actually analyzed Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez's feud over social media.
Wow.
So just to add here, I do all the fun stuff. And when we say in social science, from the above, you can understand that, okay, we don't have a lot of mathematical things. It's all about theories. But when you are writing your final paper of each course, you will see that as your method, you have to do a lot of coding of interviews or transcripts or social media comments. So I count that as mathematics.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We say it's the scientific approach to society.
Very much so.
That's, at the end, we study Master of Science.
Yeah.
So I see what you're meaning here. And in general, do you think that Lund University as an institution has some resources that can help you throughout your studies? If anyone wants to jump in.
I can take it. So currently I'm writing my master's, so I think I have to go through loads of reading, and what you will notice that while writing your thesis, the more you write, the more you will feel the need to read more. And you will know all by yourself that the more you read, the better you can produce your words and sentences and theories. And it constantly changes as you write, but you have to keep it very focused. So for me, my most favorite resource to collect articles was JSTOR. I love JSTOR, and if JSTOR is listening. And then there is, of course, our library. And I can promise that our library is the best thing in entire Sweden.
Wow.
It's my claim. It's beautiful, has awesome sitting areas with all the books. And the third best thing about our library is that, for example, if you're living in Malmö, you need a book from the Lund library.
Right.
You can request it and they will send that book to your closest Lund University library in Malmö.
Wow.
You don't have to travel back and forth with all the books. And you can submit those books at the same your closest library and it will be there in Lund.
Wow.
So life is very easy if you know how to navigate around it, but it just takes some time and patience and discovering.
No, well, it's very nice that you share that. And I can say that I think on campus we have something like 26 libraries, so across different faculties. And one tip I got during my studies was that maybe every program, but also definitely every faculty has their own librarian. So they are here to help you with your assignments, with your reading list. So if you have any question, hey, I can't find this book, but it's super important, it's the book that will change my life. And I can't find it right now. Can you help me? And they will be more than happy to help you. So I think that's a really good tip. Ask a librarian, and they're always happy to help. And what about you, Quinn? Do you have the library, of course, wealth of resource? What others? Do you have any other resources that you've been using on campus through Lund University?
So I would add that, the physical library, of course, we have them. So books, newspaper, archive, they're all there. My preferred version would be the electronic one. So it's the Loopcast and LoopSearch.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure which one is the ebook articles and which one is the... Right. So both of them they do belong to Lund University.
So it's like a search engine, right?
Yeah, so it's a search engine. You get access to pretty much all articles,
right.
I believe. And you get ebooks. So I love holding books in physical form, but it's heavy. Okay, again, we read a lot. The thing is, we read a lot, meaning that we can't just carry 10 books around at the same time.
Sure.
So my version would be, the PDFs, ebooks version.
So what I was also thinking while listening to Quinn is that if you are someone who thrives with hardcover or physical books, I would say go for it, even if it's heavy. You are willing to do it. And remember, we have awesome cafes. Do not forget about the cafes. They are the best.
Yes.
Okay, I'm using the word a lot, but I'm just very hyped. I love those cafes.
Yeah, no, they're good,
Go with your hardcover books and your laptop or computer, whatever you're using. Have a cup of coffee and cozy up and get lost. Right. And you just need a good pair of headphones in case if noise disturbs you. But I can promise you that Lund offers one of the best study environment in the world, because I have been around some other international universities and this is my best experience so far.
No, you're right. I mean, as you said, you can see a lot of videos, promotional videos about Lund as a university and as a city, and you will always see those little shops, those little cafes, just to give this cozy vibe where you can just sit and read a bit, take a cup of coffee, have some friends, or be on your own as you wish. Which brings me to winter. So I think that's very comforting to be doing things indoors when it's a bit cold outside. Today it's extremely hard for us to imagine winter because it's been extremely warm those past days. But let's say winter might come back. Let's say. And winter has been there, let's say last year or previous years you've been here in Sweden or in Lund. Do you have any strategies that maybe are a bit different from the rest of the year, specifically for winter, to keep motivated? Do you go to cafes or
For winter, one mistake I did when I was in my first year is that I was staying at home a lot because it was so cold for me. I come from a country where it's 40 degrees. Yes. I come from Bangladesh. Right. So that was a mistake I would suggest not to do. You need to go out for walks. It will keep you motivated. I know it's cozy inside your apartment, but if you keep doing that for an extended period of time, it will get to you.
Yeah.
You will start feeling depressed or bad. So you need to go out. It doesn't have to be a group of friends. It could be all by yourself, or if you choose to hang out with your friends, that's fine too. Yeah. Coffee, and of course, whatever clothes you choose to buy, make sure that there is a fleece lining inside. That part, at least I have heard a lot of students from my part of the world that they come here and they say that the clothes are not warming them enough.
Right.
Look for the fleece lining.
Yeah. Yeah, clothes adapted to the weather, because some people say that there's no bad weather, just bad clothes.
Exactly. Yes.
But what do you think, Quinn?
I think, so a few points that I wanted to add.
Yeah.
So one thing is that we must talk about fika. I mean, listen.
So what's fika?
What is fika? Fika is that it's
I heard that it's possibly cafe.
Yeah.
It was like inverted. So fika, cafe.
Ah.
It's a myth. I don't know if it's true, but in general, it would be a concept. Let's say, or some tea time. So 3-4 p.m. when you want to have your cup of coffee and some cakes or some sweets. You can have it with friends or colleagues, just to take a break, right? So that's how we'll describe it.
To socialize and to gossip. We gossip.
Gossip, yes.
Like gossip keeps it going. You gotta keep it going during winter time. You have to find some kind of motivation. Obviously, you have to find it within yourself. So let's say that working out can be one thing. I do work out at home. I'm just really shy in the gym, so I do my workout at home.
So fika, what happens with me is that I started with having loads of sweets and cakes and croissants.
Yeah.
That's how I started. I couldn't resist myself.
Right.
And then I realized I have gained 10 kilograms over that 1 year. And so just saying, fika is amazing, but try to be a bit careful and control yourself, because I'm telling you, you will lose control. Yeah. It's very easy. So no alternative to walks and runs or gym, whatever you choose.
Yeah, it's to keep active, right?
Exactly.
Both in the body and also in the mind. So I think it's about ideally finding some time for your studies, but also for doing, because let's say in your studies you would be sitting down, but also taking time to go out and be active a bit. But that would be for me. Do you have any ways to manage your time, let's say, between your studies and between other things?
I would just highlight my thesis experience. Let's say that. What I do is I started writing my thesis after it's dark. I wouldn't work during the daytime, because all my life I have produced my best assignments when it's evening to night.
I see.
So I know a lot of you might not like this idea, but if you are someone who works better after dark, it's okay to choose it.
Yeah.
But I would encourage not to go for that, because waking up in the morning, going for a run or walk, or just stretching for 30 minutes, yoga, whatever serves you, there is no alternative to that.
Yeah.
It's excellent. And trust me, you have so much readings and writings. You'll be sitting a lot.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you take care of your health, because a lot of you would be studying here all by yourself. You'll be living all by yourself. So it's very important that you are in a healthy shape to take up that pressure and continue.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, and it's about, I had a professor when I was studying in Malaysia, so my bachelor's, who was saying he only writes in the morning when it's quiet. So the first thing he wakes up, because that's when your ideas are the most fresh, let's say, and he just writes. But as you said, maybe different people have different techniques, right? And I think the important thing would be to know what works best for you and just go for that. But what do you think, Queen?
Yeah, I'm also a night owl.
Okay.
I'm a terrible night owl. I think, so one thing that I must complain about the school schedule is that my November, again, November in Sweden is terrible, okay? Because we're talking like the depths of winter time is dark, windy, raining, whatever it's winter can offer here in Sweden, right? So you have November, December, terrible months. You know where they put my class? 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Excuse me? Like, I am a night owl to do 8 a.m. in the morning. Listen, I have to travel, yeah? I have to wake up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Who? No. Yeah. It's like working against my own clock, biological clock.
Right.
And so, props to all my morning people out there. Love them, adore them. But for the rest of the world who is a night owl, I am so sorry. I feel your pain.
Yeah. But you know what's remarkable in this story? That you still wake up at 6 a.m. to go to your class.
Yes.
Respect.
Oh, yeah.
But no, it's interesting. November, or December, you know what? Because I'm from Mauritius, coming from Mauritius.
Yeah.
Of course, we don't have winter like that, and we don't change the time, right? And here on the 31st of October, or during the night, you go 1 hour back. So actually, it doesn't get darker. We just go 1 hour back in time. So that's why the sun sets down earlier, because it's 1 hour earlier. But yeah, that's what we call the winter time. And the good thing for me is that this winter time, starting 21st of December, you start gaining 1 minute, because that's like the winter solstice, what they call. And for me, as soon as the 22nd of December comes, I know that we are 1 minute closer to spring, which will be in a few months. That's how I like to think about it, because otherwise, yeah, it's very, of course, it is a bit darker and colder, but that's one way for me to keep going. And looking at the next year, so Christmas, New Year, but also Easter and spring and summer, good moments in the year. And so we all said, okay, so you're from, let's say you came from Vietnam, Bangladesh, Mauritius, very different countries, very different from Sweden as well. Did you find any big differences in the teaching styles that maybe did it take some time for you to understand and to get used to?
Yeah. For me, my first course was with the department head of Media and Communication Studies, Anna Till. So I was very intimidated, and I was like nervous, excitement, and I was also feeling a bit low in self-esteem that if I even deserve to sit in the class. But you recover that by doing the regular readings. My number one suggestion would be, before going for the classes, read the reading materials. If you cannot go through everything, at least go through 1, 2, anything that is good. Just have something in your mind, be mentally prepared to catch the lecture. It will be super helpful. And then I think, of course, in the classes, you are allowed to take notes on your computer or your phone. Nobody objects that. It doesn't have to be pen and paper. So that's another nice thing I noticed.
Yeah.
And teachers here are so nice. They genuinely care for you. They genuinely care for you as a human being, not just as their student.
Right.
So any difficulty, any problem you face, please don't be shy. Go to your teacher and tell her that I'm struggling with this. There is no shame in that, and you will never feel bad if you share it with your teacher. Trust me. No teacher.
Right.
They're always there to help you out.
That's a very nice tip. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, when let's say you say one can read before going to the classes, I think it really helped me, because then I couldn't understand what was going on. Because you have in front of you a teacher who spent maybe 5-10 years doing research on that topic, and maybe you just stumbled across one idea for the first time in your entire life. How can you follow for 2 hours,
Yes.
So that's why I like to do my readings as well before the class. And I think what I like as well is to go back even after the class, maybe a few days after that, to be able to think, okay, that's what I understood, that's what the teacher presented. Is it the same? Is it different? Do I agree? Do I disagree? And that's when you get this critical thinking that the university requires you to, I think. And what about you, Queen?
I think for the teaching style, I'm still not used to the first name basis.
Okay.
Even though I did mention that I stay here for quite some time.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah.
I still don't. I feel like there's still like a certain barrier between the student and the professor, obviously for the professional levels. So then, if I were to say their first name, it's like, you're not my friend, you're not my friend.
Yeah.
But you are kind of.
Interesting, yeah.
And I have the same experience with the professors. They're very nice.
Yeah.
They, my professor I have now, he he keeps saying that he's the public servant, that he's that the parents' taxes go to him, so he must carry out his duty to teach.
Yeah.
So he really likes his job. It's just that he makes it so that he's really important.
No, but yeah, because Lund is a public university, so that's how it works here in Sweden, and I think that makes a difference as well sometimes. But yeah, there's one thing you said about this first name basis, right? Of course, again, coming from Mauritius, studying in Malaysia, it was always Mr. Professor, teacher, Mr. Mrs. And for me, even more so because in Mauritius we speak French, and one big difference, well, of course, with English and Swedish is similar in that sense, is this pronoun, for the you pronoun, you. So when I speak to my friend, I will say you, but let's say in French, you have two pronouns, one for the friendly way of addressing someone and one for the formal way of addressing a teacher or a colleague, or let's say someone who's elder than you. And when here in Sweden, it's not just the same pronoun you, du, it's also just a first name basis. So it's just another level of formality, informality that I've never experienced before, of course. But I think you get used to it. Okay, take some time, but you get used to it. Because it's just about showing how you can be comfortable as a student to ask questions and to see when you don't understand, I think. And that's the best way to improve. Because you recognize, okay, today I don't know this, but can you help me a bit? And tomorrow maybe I will know better. I think that's the idea. And any maybe study spots here on campus that you can recommend to the new generation of students joining us this year?
I really loved Seoul and Lux, but
the School of Languages, yeah.
Lux is the modern version, and the Seoul, if you're like me who likes it old-fashioned, then go for Seoul. And of course, these two libraries are for social sciences mostly, but anybody can sit there and work. And both of them have canteens where you can just grab something. And they're cheap.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And
I think my two recommended spots at the moment would be, I haven't heard anyone recommend this space before, but the law department.
The law, right.
So if you walk in there and the library is super old. I'm talking like very old. I have this habit of going there like 1 week before the assignment. So I walk in there and I look at all the law books. I know I'm not too sure if it happens with other countries, but I think in Sweden as well and in Vietnam is that we have huge respect for people who study law, or law and medicine. And so I keep that in mind when I look at the law books, and I was like, I respect these people. I must study to be on par with their energy, right? Which is super strange. It's like this really weird mindset that it works for me. And that's with the law department. Otherwise, Lund University Library. Come on, guys. Gotta mention that.
UB, okay. Yeah. No, it's UB. For those who are on campus, if you go outside, you will see that the facade changes with the seasons. Yeah. So today it's the end of, let's say close to the end of summer. The leaves are a bit green, but then in autumn the leaves will be orange, and then in winter the leaves will go by. But then in spring they will come back. And then you know that times are changing and times are going for the better. But look, we're already approaching the end of this episode. That's sad. But do you have anything else to mention to help, let's say, international students to be on top of their academic work?
Firstly, take care of your mental and physical health. I cannot emphasize enough how important that is. I mean, it's great if you are getting good grades and you're excelling in your classes, but please do not understand your mental and physical health. And there is help for mental health help. You can go for the student health center. Right. They're always there. You can always utilize it, even if you are, for example, procrastinating, you are feeling intimidated in class to socialize, any type of difficulty. And it's free. Remember, it's free. So,
do not underestimate the mental health.
Not at all. So that would be something from me.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think for me would be that Lund University is already, we're talking like top 100 in the entire world. Yes. So don't be discouraged if you feel like you are a little bit behind. Yeah. Because you are already in top 100 university in the world. Meaning true. That, you're already really good. I'm talking like, if you manage to get in, you must be good.
Yes.
So don't be, it's okay. It's okay if you're a little bit far behind. That's all right.
That's good to remember, maybe when times are a bit tough.
Yeah.
But you've made it so far. So be proud of yourself for that. And you can keep going a bit. But you've already done a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing else, I think that's the end for today. So thank you so much for being here with me.
Glad to be here.
It was very fun.
Thank you.
And it will be, I would definitely listen to this episode during the winter with like in my earphones when I do a small walk in the forest.
Oh, yes.
Oh, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Lund University International Podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Lund University, you can go to our website, lunduniversity.lu.se. You can also follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook and X, and you can chat with current students on Unibody. Don't forget to subscribe, and we look forward to bringing you a new episode very soon.